Liverpool after taking him on the road for the last couple of times. London in September, Nottingham in November, and would have been February here, but because of his cut, actually I haven't seen that. It's a lot better than it did in Nottingham. Delighted that Tony Bellew is here and going to be headlining the show at the Echo Arena. We'll talk more about his fight shortly. Down the end there, 8-0, one of the best lightweights in the country, going to be stepping up this year, having another huge number of fights, going to be moving into titles in the middle of next year. He'll also be on the bill, Scotty Cardle. To his right, is a guy who I believe is going to go on to be one of the great super middleweights in the country, and we've already got one of them in our stable in Carl Froch, who Callum sparred many rounds with. He's already had 2 fights, we crammed in last year. He's going to be back out on February the 9th in Belfast, and then boxing again on March the 30th in Liverpool. His 4th fight will be in Liverpool, and the first time that he's had a chance to box in front of his home fans, so we're delighted for him to get that opportunity. To his right, Joe Gallagher, who's obviously Callum's coach and Scotty's coach and Anthony Crolla's coach, guy who's got huge respect in the game and one of the top coaches, and I know that he's going to have a busy night on March the 30th with at least 3 fighters on the bill that night. To his right, the former British champion Anthony Crolla, who was of course involved with that Fight of the Year fight with Derry Matthews last year. Someone again who I've got a lot of respect for, stepped up to the plate. It's sometimes quite rare that a rematch of a fight that brutal gets made, but both these guys want that fight and both of them believe that they can win, so I'm delighted to have that on the bill. And of course we spoke to Tom Stalker, the GB Olympic captain, the latest member of the GB team to sign with Matchroom Sport. I'm proud to have him on the team. You know, he's done everything as an amateur. He's won Commonwealth gold, he's medalled in the Worlds, and really for me, you know, sitting down with Tom, it was a very simple decision for him to make. He's 28 years of age. We're going to move him along nice and quickly. He's going to make his professional debut before March the 30th, and we'll make that announcement on Friday. Got a very exciting debut for him. But the same sort of path with Tom that we take with all our fighters, as busy as often. And you know, Scott Cardle's an example of that. 8 fights, probably in 9 months. That's what we want with Tom. We want him challenging for titles before the end of the year. He's going to be operating at light welterweight. I think he's a great talent. I think he's going to sell a lot of tickets in Liverpool, and we're delighted for him to have him on the show on March the 30th. To Tony Bellew, we're delighted to announce that Tony will fight Isaac Chilemba in a final eliminator for the WBC title. It's somewhere where we've wanted to get to ever since fighting Edison Miranda. We fought him for the WBC international title. And then of course we fought Roberto Volonte for the WBC silver title. There's a lot of titles, it may confuse some people, but there is an ethos behind what we're doing, and that was to become a mandatory challenger for Chad Dawson's belt. And now Tony's got the opportunity, and he's 1 fight away to becoming a mandatory challenger for the WBC title, and that's a great position to be in. And we want to thank the WBC for making this final eliminator. They chose the 2 first available fighters, which was Tony and Isaac Chilemba. And to those who know their boxing, they'll know that Chilemba brings a very, very big test to Tony. A huge step up, in my opinion, from Miranda and Volonte. And Tony's first real big test, I feel, since the Cleverly fight. And this is a chance to really go out there and make a huge name for himself in world boxing by defeating a talented fighter like Chilemba, and also picking up that mandatory position to fight for the WBC title against most likely Chad Dawson, which is a fight we'd look to make in the summer. So I'm going to ask a few people to say a few words at the table, and I'm going to start with Dave Caldwell talking about the Matthews Crolla fight and what he expects on the night.
I think everybody knows, everybody that's here today is aware of the first fight that these 2 fellas had. It was just an absolutely fantastic fight. You've got 2 good sportsmen that are here, both lovely kids out of the ring, but then when you put them in to the same ring together, something happens and you get 2 guys that are in there wanting to knock each other's block off. The first fight was fantastic. It ebbed and flowed. It went one way, it went the other way. I was there as a fan, mates with both fighters. I didn't want to pick a side on what to do, so I went there as a fan, sat ringside, and I was gobsmacked.